people think when they go into early childhood education, it's going to be like a Mary Poppins film, when in fact, it's more like Nanny McPhee. I work in a daycare, and it's my job to go between the classrooms and assist the teachers with whatever they need. Well, I've spent more time wrangling 2-year-olds than I've spent with any of the other classes. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to herd cats, but it's a lot like trying to get 2-year-olds to sit down. A wild and sometimes useless venture. Now, I'm not saying that educating our sweet little 2-year-olds is fruitless. Just that trying to get them to sit down is. 2-year-olds simply refuse to stay sitting for more than 3 minutes, and it takes nearly double that to get them to even consider sitting as a viable option. Don't get me wrong, I love my job, but there are some moments when I would like to follow the example of my toddlers and just throw myself on the floor and cry. To elaborate, I would like to share with you one of the most stressful events that happen almost every other day: the crying effect. The scariest domino effect known to mankind. Usually this starts with one kid hitting another, and they both start crying. Why is the hitter crying? I don't know. Guilt? He just is. Anyway, now that 2 kids are crying, the other 8 are going to join in, especially if they're all standing in a herd together. With 10 crying children all at once, it's any wonder that preschool teachers can still hear, and I'm surprised we still want to come back the next day. All horror stories aside, there are moments when you nearly jump up and down with joy. I remember the first new preschooler I ever experienced. She had never been away from mom or dad, and this was her first time. So she cried constantly and never interacted with the other children. I once held her for 3 hours, and it was the only thing that calmed her down. By her first week, she was beginning to make progress, playing with the other kids and even doing things on her own, without being prompted. I nearly cried when I watched the other kids follow in my example of hugging her and patting her head, and they even started doing this not just with the new girl, but with each other. I love it when my little ones bring me a book and ask me to read to them. It often starts as one child, but soon I am joined by the rest. While it is challenging at times, I wouldn't give up watching preschoolers learn and grow for anything in the world. My job title may be a floater, but I prefer certified hugger. My toddlers know that if they ever need a quick hug or some cuddles, they can always come to me. Whenever they're hurting or just don't feel well, they come running with their little grabby hands, and I'm quick to provide a shoulder to lay on, a neck to hug, and arms to hold them with. I don't know exactly what each child faces in their home lives, or how much or how little hugs and cuddles they get, so whenever I have the chance, I like to take it as the highest honor. I want my preschoolers to know that they are loved, and that no matter what, they are strong, smart, and above all, kind. As educators, it is important that we go in each and every day with the attitude to love and inspire young minds. We must remember that even during the chaos, that the little minds who depend on the guiding hands around them for growth, we must never forget that we teach not for our own personal gain, but to change the world, one child at a time.